Hey, welcome everybody. This is Mark Dannenberg with Options Moneymaker. Today is January 27th, and this is the Options Moneymaker Q&A. So before we get started here, Christian, I see you're in the room. If you're paying attention, could you just do a quick sound check for me? Just make sure that I'm coming through okay. Oh, Rodrigo, thank you. Christian, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Michael and Aaron are both away this evening. Usually they give me a quick sound check just to make sure everything's working fine. So I appreciate that, both of you. All right, so if you're brand new to the Q&A, I just want you to understand that our purpose in spending this time with you, making ourselves available, is to help you learn to trade. Each of you has expressed an interest in trading to earn money, whether that is for a full-time income, a part-time income, extra money, growing your own personal wealth, whatever it may be. But we very much focus on learning to trade first before jumping in and trading live money. We provide a variety of tools to help you do that. The adaptive entry system is for identifying trends. That's the chart signals. The adaptive entry system provides 4 different signals that we use to identify trending movements, momentum movements. The live trading room, which we host every day from 8:45 a.m. Eastern to sometime between 3 and 4 Eastern, is for real-time trading and support. So you can look over our shoulder, you can follow right along with Michael and Aaron and myself as we identify trade opportunities through the adaptive entry system, the signals, and we call those out in the room, in addition to fractals. And Michael provides a wealth of information also in terms of price targets and wave counts and where we are in the pattern. And Aaron is very, very solid in her knowledge of both futures trading as well as options trading. So it's a great place to spend some time and really learn how to immerse yourself in trading if that's what you're interested in doing. We provide a futures trading education course. This is all about learning the risk and reward of futures. A lot of people will start to trade. They've traded stocks before, so they decide they want to jump into options or jump into futures, don't really understand what they're doing, and they get themselves into trouble, and then they draw the conclusion that this doesn't really work, can't really make money doing this. That is such an unfortunate misnomer, and there are 2 things that I think are required before you ever put your first live dollar of risk out into a futures trade or an options trade, both of which we teach. Number 1 is learn. Go through an education course, whether it's through us or some other provider, but don't just read a book on your own. Actually go through a course where things are explained to you. Futures trading education and options trading education are not expensive to learn, but it's very expensive when you don't learn. The second thing is, no matter what you choose to trade or what your personal style trading is, trade for, I'm going to just say, about a month. Sometimes it's as little as a week, sometimes it's a few months, but trade with a simulated account with not real money, so that you can practice, make mistakes, and not have it hurt and damage your portfolio. I've had so many people come back to me and say the best piece of advice you ever gave me, Mark, was to trade in sim mode before I ever started live. I made so many mistakes trading in sim mode, and I didn't have the stress and pressure of that loss weighing on me. I acknowledged the error I made. I learned how to do it. You know what, folks, you're going to make some mistakes when you first start out. It's all about moving yourselves towards the goal, which is to trade to earn, but you need to learn to trade first. And then we also provide a personal trading plan for tracking your personal profit performance. I look at trading for each of you as an individual business. It's your own personal small business. You look at it as a business, and it completely changes your attitude towards trading. So many traders come to the market every day feeling like a gambler. They talk about, their excitement about trading. They talk about their discouragement about trading. And I'm saying it's a business. I've run small businesses and I've managed $500 million businesses, divisions. And both of them come with one common denominator, and that is at any given point in time, I want to be able to forecast out into the future what my current run rate will result in. So my run rate is how have I been performing to date, whatever period of time I'm measuring. And if I'm performing well to date, meaning I am on pace to make a profit, I understand where my sales are coming from in a traditional business, I understand where my expenses are coming from, or in your case, in trading, I understand how I derive the profits and I understand some of the losses that I took, but I'm on pace to make a profit. And if I take that run rate and I project it forward for 52 weeks, 12 months, I can have some idea of what my overall profit and income could be for 12 months. I believe that that is one key ingredient for being a successful trader. It allows you to take days like we've had where, we've had sizable losses for the day and you feel like you're kind of beat up, but you plug it into your personal trading plan and go, okay, I understand where this blends into my overall performance now. And instead of being focused on today, I'm focused on the averages and the run rates. Not every single day is going to be a winning day. We have losing days, but if we can blend them all together and we can look at that run rate for a 12-month period, forecast out, and we like the result, then we are on track to be a successful trader. So personal trading plan is vitally important. And I'm going to go ahead and do an update here real quick before we get to Q&A. And the last thing is, if you're interested in trading options, we've got an excellent options education course called Profit Builder Plus, and it really dives deeply into the very basics of options all the way to advanced spread strategies. So as I mentioned, the personal trading plan is, in my opinion, one of the most important parts of being a successful trader. So what we do here is we track the detail of every single trade. So if you're not familiar with what we do, we are tracking, I'm going to pull up a chart here. We start every day in the live trading room at 8:45 a.m. Eastern, and we have up a chart of the NASDAQ 100 futures using a 5-minute chart. So this is the NASDAQ 100 futures 5-minute chart. Now the reason we do that is because it is a equity and a time frame that does a great job of consistently producing profits for us in terms of run rates projected forward. Now, you can trade it on 10 minutes, you can trade it on 3 minutes, you can trade ES, you can trade RTY, you could trade stocks, you can trade stock options. You can use the adaptive entry system for any of those methods of trading, but we focus on NASDAQ 100 futures on a 5-minute chart because it gives us enough activity to help you understand how to interpret the signals, how to respond to the signals, how to move away from the signal, how to manage the trade that you're in, and you get a lot of experience. And then if you decide you want to trade something else, you might want to trade gold, silver, oil, whatever you choose to trade, the method is still the same in terms of interpreting the adaptive entry system signals. All right, so once we have our performance for the day, or we start trading for the day, we log every single trade. We log the time the signal came on, whether it was a short or long, that we're taking it off of a 5-minute chart, what the strategy was. This T plus means it was a continuation trade, and what the profit or loss it was in terms of points. Now we show in terms of points, this trade happened to be a 5-point profit, and each point, each 1 point on NQ is equivalent to $20 of profit or loss, $20 per point per contract. So this happened to be a $100 profit trade. And then the next trade is a $200 profit trade. And then here we had a $400 losing trade. So we just take the signals. We profile mostly from 7 to the end of the day. This one almost 3 o'clock, just a little bit before 3 was the last signal we took today. And then at the end of the day, we take a look at what the result was. We don't get too preoccupied with losing trades. I heard some people this morning were kind of moaning about the 3 back-to-back losing trades. That happens. look at the next several trades. We're all winning trades. And what we do is we encourage you to stay focused on the big picture. If you want to keep trading, then trade and just continue to take the signals until you hit your goal. And that goal might be a losing goal or it might be a winning goal. So then we take that information, we summarize it into a daily performance summary. And we have two categories that we track in our personal trading plan. One is from 9:30 to noon, taking all the adaptive entry system signals, and one is from 7 a.m. Eastern to 4 p.m. Eastern, whenever we quit trading, just taking the trend bias and the continuation signals. Now, there are different categories. You know, one is only 2 of the 4 signals, and the other one is all 4 signals. This one is only 2.5 hours of trading, and this one is a much longer extended period of trading. So you have to choose what's right for you and your personal trading business. Today, we actually earned 65 points of profit in the 9:30 to noon category. Now that's pretty exciting, considering if you go back to the detail and realize that we opened at 8:45, and looking from 8:50 on, we had those initial trades, and then 9:30 to noon, if you started trading with us right in that first 45 minutes before the regular market session opened, you might have felt this wasn't going to be a very good day. But then look at the number of winning trades that we had all back to back. So 65 points, we did 10 trades, 9:30 to noon, 100% winners at 9:30 to noon. Now in the other category, trend bias and continuation signals, we actually lost 28 points today. The trends were not as productive for us today. And that was 12 trades. We had a 67% win rate today. So we take this information, and this is where we then pull it into our personal trading plan. If you've not seen the format before, this is the format for the personal trading plan, where everything shaded in blue are the weeks, days that we've already finished. We've already traded those. So we haven't done an update since Friday, but I went ahead and filled in the performance for Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm going to go ahead and fill in today's performance. So there's 2 tabs here, one for the 7 to 4 trend bias and continuation. And in that category, as I said, we lost 28 points. It's $20 a point, and then we are trading 3 contracts. So it's 28 times 20, $20 a point, times 3. So our loss today was $1,680 in this category. We traded 12 times, and with 3 contracts per trade. So there's a total of 36 contracts traded. And then we put a 3 in the contract override to lock in the fact that we've traded 3 contracts on this day. Now I'm going to jump over to our other category, and I'm going to fill in that data first before we do an evaluation. I've already filled in Monday and Tuesday here. Monday we did $600. Tuesday we did $1,875. And today we did 65 points at $20 a point, times 3 contracts was a $3,900 day for us between 9:30 and noon. And there were 10 trades at 3 contracts per trade, so it's 30 contracts. Oops. Gonna then lock our 3. All right, so I'm going to start here and do a evaluation for you. There's 4 numbers up here that I'm using. This first one tells me that of our 52-week plan, we've now completed 29.6 weeks. So we're through the first 29.5 weeks of our 52-week plan. During that 29.6 weeks, we've had 48 losing days. We want to be very aware of what our winning days are and our losing days. We keep track of our losing days. By default, everything else is a winning day. So we've had 48 losing days. Now we can take those numbers plus the averages of our winning days and losing days, and we can calculate what our average winning day and our average losing day is. And these numbers are not just straight averages of wins and losses. They are an average with the factor of the frequency rate of wins and the frequency rate of losses considered in that formula. So these numbers represent our actual run rate. they represent what we've actually done for the first 29.6 weeks. We're almost through 30 weeks of a 52-week plan. And these numbers will change a little bit from day to day, but not that much now that we're this far into the plan. I have no idea where we're going to end up for 52 weeks, but I can have a reasonable projection if I'm the owner of this business, this personal trading business, and I'm trading from 9:30 to noon. I'm just going to plug my data in every day, and I'm going to let the numbers fall where they may. So now the most important thing here is to take those run rate numbers. Those are the averages that we've achieved to date. And I'm going to put those numbers in these two categories because these two categories represent what the forecast is going forward for the balance of the 52-week plan, the 52-week financial forecast. So 21.81 is our positive day average performance, and minus 40.11 is our negative day performance. So when we take a look at those forecast numbers that marry up to the actual performance numbers, and we limit ourselves to no more than 3 contracts, which is what we're trading now, then my income is forecasting right now, as we're almost through 30 weeks, income is forecasting at just over $140,000 for a 12-month period, and we started with $5,000 in this account. So I think that that's pretty strong. That's pretty powerful. Let's jump over to the other category. It's going to be a little different. So we're going to go up and take a look at those same numbers. 29.6 weeks. We started at exactly the same time. 45 losing days during those 29.6 weeks in this category. Our average winning day is 28.49, and our average losing day is 33.6. So we're going to move those numbers into the forecast field, and 28.49 and minus 33.6. If we maintain 3 contracts, no more than 3 contracts, our income is potentially headed for $243,831. That's even though we've got losing days. Look at these losing days in here, but look at all the winning days that we have in here. It's all about the averages, folks. And frankly, if that average came down and we ended up finishing less than 243,000, I think it's going to be a pretty strong number. I can't guarantee anything, but I still think it's going to be a pretty strong number. And once again, in this account, we started with $5,000 in the first week of July. So 5,000 to 243,000. Again, we don't know what it's going to be. Our performance day to day, whether it's positive or negative, is going to influence our averages. Our actual averages are going to influence our forecast going forward for the balance of the 52-week plan. And we will just see what the day looks like. One last thing I just want to share with you, especially for those of you who might just be visiting. We have 2 limiters in terms of how much risk we put into the market. The first one is 10%. So each contract that we trade requires a certain amount of margin. And when we trade it in Infinity Futures, that's $500 of margin per contract. So 3 contracts requires $1,500 of margin. You have to have $1,500 available in your account. Well, we want to be what I consider to be ultra conservative. And so we only use 10% of the balance of the account towards contracts, towards the margin required for those contracts. So I would need $15,000 in the account. 10% of that is $1,500. Each contract requires $500, so I could trade up to 3 contracts. So as your account grows and you decide you're really comfortable with your run rate, you're comfortable with having managed your emotions, you're comfortable with having managed your understanding, and you really feel like you know what you're doing, continue to do everything that you've been doing and forecast forward, but you can also influence your outcome for the course of a year, even though we're over halfway through the 12-month plan, by changing the number of contracts. You are in control of the number of contracts you want to trade. First of all, you're limited by the personal trading plan to no more than 10%, and that's a variable. It's highlighted in blue. You can change it to whatever you choose. You can change it to 20%, change it to 100%. I don't think that would be wise, but we leave ours at 10. But the other thing is you can just flat out increase the number of contracts and it will still remain less than 10% of the balance of your account, no matter what number you put in there, until the account grows. So if I said today, I'm really comfortable with what I'm doing, I want to increase my contracts to a maximum of 10, well, it dramatically increases your 12-month return. It doesn't change anything that has already transpired for the first 29.6 weeks. It only changes going forward. You can see that the 3 contracts is locked in there. That's why we put the 3 in the contract override. And then tomorrow we'd start trading 10 contracts if that's what we wanted to do. But that gets you to almost $500,000, having started with $5,000. Again, this is a variable that you are completely in control of, and not 30. And I think that 3 is plenty for right now, but that is a variable that you are completely in control of. So let's jump back here. It is important to update that every day. And if you're not feeling very confident in what you're doing during the day, plug your current day's performance wherever you are in the day into your personal trading plan. Just take a look at where it's forecasting you now, because it's no longer about today. If you're focused on the personal trading plan, it's about the big picture 12-month view, and make a decision about whether or not maybe you just stop for the day and come back at it again tomorrow. I just want to give this one perspective. I shared this a couple of Q&As ago, but a lot of traders struggle with the emotional side of risk and losses. First of all, the personal trading plan, I think, helps you see the big picture. It helps you understand when is enough, helps you understand what a reasonable profit target is for the day or a loss target is, and it just shows you at any given time when you input your data what your potential 52-week income is. Our personal trading plan from the live trading room, as you just saw, shows 52-week income potential of somewhere around 100. I think it just updated 140 to 240,000, somewhere around there. And remember, we just started with $5,000 for each account. This is not, a pipe dream. This isn't get rich quick. This is about hard work, discipline of learning, discipline of being present with the market, allowing us to help you in the live trading room know when to enter trades, when not to enter trades, to discuss and learn and grow one day at a time. But this is just a little tidbit I thought was interesting. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the median household income in the U.S. is $78,500. We have a 52-week personal trading plan right now showing that we started with $5,000, and that in as little as 2.5 hours per day, we're on pace to earn somewhere, I think it was $140,000, having just updated that. So there's a big opportunity here. Trading can be a very profitable, very productive business of your own. And if you look at it as a business and not as a game, not as a gambling, not as a hope and a prayer, if you find yourself holding your breath during every trade, you probably ought to go to sim mode. You ought to trade in sim mode for 30 days and not go to live money until you feel that you are generating the type of income that you feel confident in generating and you understand how that's happening. All right, so I'm going to jump to questions. I'm going to put a chart up here. Oops, it's right here. There we go. All right, let's see. Harry is saying during the mid-December Q&A, you stated there was going to be a new updated version of personal trading plan. Has that happened yet? That is it's taken a little longer than we originally thought, Harry. We've got a couple of other competing priorities also. Erin has 2 things that she's updating and doing outside of the time she spends in the live trading room. One is the personal trading plan, and we hope to get that done here in the not too distant future, sooner than later. And then the second thing is the tool that we're using to track performance. This is such a vital tool for us. It allows us to track all the data. Well, when we originally built it, we didn't have the full concept of what all we wanted to do with it. And I just want to just say kudos to Erin. She's really done a huge amount of work to create this tool that allows us to help each of you understand what your performance could be. We're tracking our performance when traders, as they naturally do, say, you know, I don't think I should trade momentum signals, or I don't think I should trade from 9:30 to 10 because nobody makes money. There's a lot of general assumptions that traders will make. Well, we have data to show you, not convince you to do anything, but to just show you what the truth is to your assumption. And this spreadsheet that we built has become a little massive. So Aaron's working on actually migrating it to a more robust database for us over the next few days. So Harry, we're on it, and we'll let you know just as soon as we have that available. Rod is asking, what is year-to-date profit? Or since we started the program? Well, you can see here, Rod, depending on which category you're looking at, we started with $5,000. And as of today, putting our data in today, the account balance in the 7 to 4 trend bias and continuation trades is $134,337. And in the other category, it's $75,494. Those are the best year-to-date numbers I can give you, because when we rolled the adaptive entry system out to the live trading room, to our trading community, we at the same time relaunched the personal trading plan as a tool that I thought would be very supportive of each person's trading business. So this goes back, as I said, 29.6 weeks. Christian is asking, so last meeting you were mentioning you were looking at the 3-minute chart for possible trade entries. Any new developments? Christian, to be honest, nothing that I am in a position to share right now. I'm going to just show you this whole stuff down here is a new system indicators new system of indicators that Craig and I have been working on and testing, and I'm doing quite a bit of testing on it on the 3-minute chart. And we're not anywhere close to releasing it, and we're not sure it's going to be released yet. There's a lot of validation and testing that is still required. Initial evaluation, and I mean initial evaluation where I'm actually personally trading this live. It's a whole set of signals combining everything that you see here. And I like very, very much what I see so far. We're seeing triple-digit days, 7 to 2, and you know, it's very strong, and it's got a combination of both momentum aspects as well as some mean reversion aspects to it that allow you to really dig into more of the movements within the pattern. So if Craig was on here, and if Craig was on here, he might object to me sharing so much, but I'm not sharing anything that I think is valuable just yet, other than it's something that I'm working on, Christian. Tom is asking, what percentage of that income should be allocated for taxes, and does trading futures have a different tax structure than stocks? I am not qualified to answer that question, Tom, but if you talk to your CPA, if they're familiar with the tax aspects of traders, then they can answer those questions for you. We are in some discussions with a accounting group that specializes in traders and investors, and here in the next couple of weeks, I think we're going to send out something to all of you, an email inviting you to come to a free informational webinar that they're going to host, where they talk specifically about the unique taxing aspects of traders and investors and futures traders versus options traders versus stock investors. So I think that's something you should look for, Tom, in the coming weeks. Rod is asking, what is the value in B3? So if you're putting together a financial forecast for your business, and I specifically designed this as a 52-week plan, but you are using your trading as part of your lifestyle, part of your living, meeting your expenses, or part of your enjoyment. Perhaps you want to go travel, or you want to, do something for your friends or family, whatever. This field right up here, B2 and 3, you can put a date in, and it will give you a reasonable projection based on all the other same factors of what your account value could potentially be by that date. So this is the full 12-month, 52-week forecast. This is what the account could possibly look like, again, based on all the same run rate factors and forecast factors as of the end of March. So you can put in whatever date you want there. We could put in February. It gives you a reasonable projection. And then if you decided you wanted to remove money from the account, there's a column over here on your personal trading plan where you can deduct funds, and that way it will always keep track for you of what your current balance is and what your future forecast is. Yeah, Rob, I am very familiar with that, but we're not here to provide tax or legal advice. That's a discussion that each of you needs to have with your own CPA or tax attorney. Okay, Andre, let me see if I understand this. I have a call option that I purchased on January 21st. The contract is, let's see, 38 call, expires on February 19th. One contract, company is Ally Financial. The stock has fell below the strike price at 38. So I bought the contract for $40.50, and I have lost extreme equity in the trade. What advice to the situation? And Andre, that's not something I can easily give you a simple answer to here in the Q&A. Within the options trading education that we provide, we talk about when you have an option that is underwater. We talk about the consideration of time to expiration. How much time do you have to expiration? You've got about 4 weeks to expiration. So you got plenty of time to work with. It's more than just evaluating the option, it's evaluating the chart and determining using the adaptive entry system signals on a longer time frame, such as a 30-minute or daily chart, what the reasonable projection of movement is the bias to move higher or is the bias to move lower? If you're just looking at the value of the option, that's not going to help you. And then once you have an idea of whether or not it's going to move higher or lower, I can't teach this here right now, but say, for example, you felt like it was going to move higher, but maybe not in time for your expiration. There are strategies you can use to roll out that option. You take a short-term temporary loss with the possibility of possibly recovering that. There are ways that you can help to cover or minimize that drawdown that you currently have on the trade and the potential full loss if you feel like the stock is going to continue to decline. You can sell to open another February 19th option, and you can buy to open a March option. You can create a spread, and using that spread, the short-term option that you're selling to open would be constructed in such a way that it would fully cover the risk that you have on the current trade. Now, don't go out and do that just based on what I said, because there's a lot of details involved in how to construct that type of a trade management. But those are the types of things that we teach in our Profit Builder Plus options education program. Yeah, and you said $405, but you said you have one contract, so that's $4.05 per contract, or $4.05, right? I think I said $40. That's $4.05. Kevin's saying, if you don't mind, I'd like more details on the future trading course. So, Kevin, the futures trading course is designed to help you understand the basics of the futures, what a futures contract is, why futures contracts work, how you trade futures contracts. We are very specific in the futures trading course to how to properly use the adaptive entry system signals. And we are also specific in showing you how to properly use the Infinity Futures Trading Dome, which I think is one of the simplest trading platforms that's available for futures traders. So that's what it is. It's talking about risk. It's talking about how to minimize risk. It's talking about how to set profit targets, how to set stops, protective stops. And that's really what it is. A lot of people who take our futures course have never traded futures before, or somebody in their friends or family circle has told them you're going to lose all your money if you trade futures, and they come and take the course and realize, well, that's not true. That's if you don't do the smart things that you're supposed to do. It's also not true that you'll lose all your money if you just kind of follow a certain level of discipline by learning first, trading in sim mode and getting really comfortable with trading before you ever put in $1 of real money. Kevin, you want me to go back to today's trades? You're talking about the detail in today. I will start here 7 o'clock. Most people like to screenshot 7 o'clock and on, and then the second half of the day is right there. Kevin's asking, do we have personal trading plan records on ES and RTY? No, we don't. We are not keeping track of performance on every single possible equity that could be traded. What we are doing is we are teaching you how to properly trade the adaptive entry system signals using NQ, and then we're showing you as a thought process on being a smart trading business owner how to then track your performance, take your performance, and plug it into your personal trading plan. And from there, once you learn how to do that properly and you're successful, you know, we're not promoting that NQ is the only equity that should or could be traded by the adaptive entry system. We're just saying we need one point of focus so that we can teach you, support you, have discussions, intelligent discussions in the live trading room about when to take trades, how to manage your trade, how to adjust your trade, and then you can apply that to whatever you choose, ES, RTY, oil, copper, silver, whatever you choose. Kevin, the futures trading course is it was originally taught as a webinar, an online webinar, where the audience was live. It was recorded, and so you have access to it now on demand. So if you want to sign up for the futures trading course, you sign up and you'll get confirmation, welcome email with a link so that you can download the sessions and you review and listen to them at your leisure. And then you have a perfect opportunity here in the Q&A every other week, and also in the live trading room, to just ask clarifying questions and just confirm your understanding and apply your understanding from the trading course in trading in a sim mode. I guarantee you that any course created is not going to answer 100% of all of your questions. I think that the proper way to learn is to do exactly what I just said. Take the course, spend the time in the live trading room with a sim dome open, take the trades right along with Michael, Aaron, and myself, and gain a level of knowledge and understanding that will make you feel comfortable being able to trade on your own. Ask questions in the live trading room, come here to the Q&A and ask questions, and we can get you moving down the right path. Okay, I'm going to give it a few more minutes here and just see if there's more questions, but while we're waiting on that, I've been recently wanting to also make sure that you understand there is a significant value to the adaptive entry system for trading options also. So many of you are options traders in addition to futures or only instead of futures. And if you take a look at a set of 3 charts, I usually like to look at the 10-minute, the 30-minute, and the daily chart all side by side, and whatever you want to trade. Amazon is one of the stocks in our watch list. We have Booking, we have Google, Netflix, Shopify, and Tesla. Those are our primary stocks in our watch list. I have a few other things that I keep an eye on. But when I showed you the personal trading plan, and I talked about the category that is from 7 to 4, trading the trend bias signals and the continuation signals. Well, on the adaptive entry system, the trend bias signals are labeled with a T. If there's a red T and there's this red vertical bar, that means that we're going short. In the case of an option, you would be buying to open a put. And how you manage that option, how far out in time you go, what strike you want to trade, that's all details that you need to learn about and feel comfortable with choosing the right option. But what we're doing here is helping you understand when the time is right to get into the trade. It's kind of amazing to me, after 35 years of trading, the number of people who always start by learning options, learning all the strategies and options. They want to learn how to trade covered calls. They want to learn how to trade credit spreads, debit spreads, diagonal spreads, calendar spreads. They want to learn all that. But when I ask them, well, how do you decide when to get into the trade? Well, I don't really know. And the most important thing about trading is really understanding when to get into the trade. And if you know when to get into a trade, which the adaptive entry system helps you understand, the strategy is secondary. You'll figure out what strategy you want to use, whether you want to trade a spread, or whether you want to buy a call or buy an option, or whether you want to trade futures. Whatever you choose is right for you. But let me just show a couple of things here. Here's a 30-minute chart. I tend to look at 10-minute and 30-minute charts for options. Here's a 30-minute chart on Amazon. At 10 o'clock today, there was a trend bias signal that came on, a short trend bias. Now, the 930 bar, that was a big bar down on Amazon. Our signal didn't come on until the 10 o'clock bar, and it immediately reversed on us. But with options, you've got time to expiration. You're going to trade the signals. You're not going to trade panic, fear, and emotional roller coaster. So if you went out 2 weeks to expiration, if you went out to the February monthly expiration, you've got plenty of time for this to work itself out. And look here what happened. On that 10 o'clock bar, Amazon opened at 32.87. I want to round off, okay? Opened at 32.87. Now it moved up to 33.11. So you've got some drawdown on the trade, but you're only in the trade for a half hour and the signal is still good. There's nothing that's told you to take the trade off. By the end of the day, the trade had moved down to a low. This is by 3:30. The trade had moved down to a low of 32.07. Remember, we were in at 32.87. If you're trading a 50 delta, now 50 delta at the money options on Amazon are a little expensive, but there's all sorts of ways you can construct a spread, or you can go further out of the money. But just for the sake of conversation, an 80-point move on a 50 delta option is a $40 profit. And one contract, that is a $4,000 profit. There's a $4,000 profit right there. Even if, excuse me, even if you were trading a 10 delta to make the cost basis of the option a little bit more manageable, that's an 80-point move. Did I say 80? Yeah, it's an 80-point move. And on a 10 delta, you're going to get a little increase in the delta. But on a flat 10 delta, that's points of profit on one contract. That's $800 of profit. We have people in our live trading room that are trading for 2 or 3 hours, and their goal is to make $300, $400, $500, $600. There's one move. You put a good till canceled order on for your profit target, and that made as much as $800. A lot of people would have taken it off at $500 because that's their trading goal for the day. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's always kind of a wild beast here. Now, see, I'll look at the 10-minute chart here. At 2:30 this afternoon, I'm not sure I'd want to open unless at 2:30, unless I don't mind holding overnight. But at 2:30 this afternoon, there was a trend bias signal to go short at 877.50. It actually traded down to 858.60. Almost moved 20 points on that. You know, 50 delta, you've got 9 to 10 points of profit on that. On one contract, that's $900 to $1,000. Again, a lot of these are such that if you're looking for $500 or $600 of profit, that's a pretty easy profit. Now, let's be fair too. There's a couple of these that they don't work out. Here's a signal right here on the 10-minute said to go short, and it reversed. But you don't have a big loss, because as soon as that white bar comes on, you're going to take the trade off. You're back to cash. Here's another one that comes on. It just kind of drifted sideways, and you're out with a small loss, and then here's your big win. You just take the signals as they come. So I like looking at the stocks also. We'll have just a minute of fun here. This is all over the news. Here's GameStop. GameStop is just an unbelievable story about how a group of traders just kind of outwitted some hedge funds. This stock, by the way, if you listen to Erin in her daily crosses, we certainly don't focus on GameStop, but on the daily crosses, the daily cross on the Psychofinder Plus on January 11th said you should go long on GameStop, and the price of the stock was $19.41 that day. So you would have bought a call, and today it traded up to $380. That's an unbelievable story. They don't happen like that all, but this is all revolving around a massive short squeeze that the short traders got really hammered in. So anyway, my point is that you can trade ETFs. Here's SPY. Here's the Qs. Here's the diamonds, DIA. And all of these signals, the adaptive entry system signals, they will work just as well as they do on futures or any other thing that you want to trade. You just got to learn and use a discipline to trade them properly. All right, let's see here. Greg is asking if Michael's talked about breaking 618 on the daily chart. Not to my knowledge. I've actually been out of the live trading room the last couple of days. So that might be something you want to ask him in the LTR. So I don't really keep up on the 618 numbers. When he calls them out, it's kind of a footnote for me. I'm looking at them relative to any one particular trade that I may have on at that time. But we can look at NDX, the cash index, and you can see what's happening here. It's been in a pretty steady decline. If I scrunch that together here, that's a pretty massive decline right there. Even if you just used a very traditional parallel channel analysis. It shows that there's setup for possibly more downside to come. We'll just wait and see. Right now in the current environment, I love trading futures. I'm not holding anything overnight. I'm going to be able to evaluate my position one moment at a time and decide whether or not I like what I hold, or do I want to close it out and wait for the next signal. All right, folks, I don't see any other new questions out here. I'll give it just one more moment, see if anybody has any final comments or thoughts. Oh, that's very nice of you to share, Kevin. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Kevin's just saying, I've been in the live trading room now for 7 days. Aaron and Michael have been very helpful, been a great help. That's perfect. That's exactly what I like to hear, Kevin. So I appreciate you sharing that with me. Okay, folks, like I said, I don't see any other new questions out here. Oh, Fergal, I missed that. Yeah, how did the full cycle do today? Let me take a look at that. The full cycle 9:30 to no 7 to 4. 7 to 4. Hold on just a second here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. 17.5 points. Let me make sure that's correct. Aaron's been doing some work on this, so apologize. Yeah. Down about 17.5 points today. I don't usually look at that, Fergal, to be honest, because it's not something that we recommend. It's not something that we suggest. We have other strategies and other timeframes and approaches that we feel are more productive generally than holding for the full cycle. Andre, if you're looking for the type of training that we do, I'm going to pull this up here. You can go to optionsmoneymaker.com. If you can see it in the browser window up here, optionsmoneymaker.com/investor2. And you can browse through what we do in terms of adaptive entry system training, live trading room, futures trading and education, and also Profit Builder program. Let's see here. Rod wants to look at SPY. Let's look at SPY for today. There we go. We'll look at a daily chart. Straight down from the open today. Big gap down too, which means there's an oops pattern there that if that oops pattern does satisfy, we'll trade back up to the low of yesterday, which was 383.54. at some point. But that's what the daily chart looks like for SPY as of today. Been in a pretty long running rising trend. Paused there, resumed there, another pause, resumed there. And if tomorrow the daily bar opens red, that would be a trend bias indication to buy a put to go short. Oh, thank you, Rod. We'll look forward to having you, sir. Kevin's saying he's still in sim, but his win rate is averaging 73%. Still have a lot to learn, but very happy so far. Kevin, let me just tell you, if you're at a 73% win rate, you should be delighted. Because if I look at our averages and I look at all of the different time frames and methods that we track, all different combinations of using the adaptive entry system, our win-loss ratio is generally somewhere in the low 70% range. The two that are only at the 38 and 31% are why we generally don't recommend holding the full cycle on the trend bias trades. They only win 31% of the time, but you do average $581 a day. And then the 30-point hold, that only averages 38% win, but you know, your average is just under $500 a day. I personally don't want to go through all of that anxiety of only having 38% or 31% of my trades win. I'd rather have a higher win rate. And if you look at these numbers that are just, let's just say somewhere around $500 a day, well, I could trade from 9:30 to noon and have a 76.6% win rate and make $300 a day. Well, that might make me feel better. I can trade from 7 to 4 and have a 72% win rate and make just under $500 a day, holding for only 10 points or locking in 5 along the way. You know, frankly, my favorite category is always all 4 signals plus fractals, and whatever time frame you choose to trade. You know, 8:45 to 4 if you don't want to trade that long. 8:45 to 2 is averaging $700 a day. Why do I want to mess around with these anxiety-inducing methods when I can do this from 8:45 to 2, all within the confines of the live trading room, and average $700 a day? Yeah, Kevin, we frequently get questions, requests about reconfiguring the way we display everything on the screen. And we're in such a pattern, and it's, you know, repetitive for us, second nature to us. We're not going to change that. But when you have your own chart subscription, it's so much easier to not be dependent on what chart we're showing or where we've positioned the chart. You just have that either on a separate monitor, or you can configure it in a way that will show your chart and your trading dome immediately adjacent to it. Oh, and Kevin was saying that his 73% win rate, he's happy with that. He says that is just 7 days. The last 2 days have been 89 and 83%. I think you're on the right track, Kevin. Yeah, it definitely helps to lock in a profit at 5 points. We learned that several months ago, and we've been doing it ever since. And we'll continue doing it until the market proves that we shouldn't. Rex, can I show 9:30 to noon, profit target of 25? Yes, sir. 9:30 to noon. For the last 155 trading days, if your profit target is 25 points, you're averaging about $293 a day. You're going to take just under 8 trades on an average per day, and it's got about an 85.6% win rate. All right, folks, I don't see any other new questions out there. I just sincerely appreciate you being here. There is one, Aisha, LTR trades with real money or in sim mode. It depends on the day, Aisha, and who's actually trading. Most days it is live money, but we made a commitment in tracking the trades to make sure that we track from 7 to the close of the room. We actually, in reality, go back and look at the overnight, and we track from 3 a.m. On to the close of the room. Now, we're obviously not trading. None of the three of us are sitting there live trading at 3 o'clock in the morning. But once we open the live trading room, most of us in the group are live trading. But if we have a spectacular day, and we talk about that frequently, where Aaron will recommend stopping because we're up 42 points or 50 points or whatever for the day, that's when we may shift to sim mode also and just continue to track the trades and watch them in sim mode. We do track from 3 o'clock because, just responding to the follow-up question here, because we are working on building an auto trading tool and looking at having an auto trading tool that could help us trade automatically overnight on the futures contracts. So we're interested in what type of performance we could see from, say, 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock when nobody would be present trading, but we could have an automated trading tool doing that for us. I'm just scanning real quick here, make sure I didn't miss anything. Usually the questions come in stacked at the new questions at the bottom, but some of them seem to be coming in mid-range. Greg, in response to your question, we are. If that's something that interests you, shoot me an email. We can have I can have my person be in touch with you just to explain a little bit more about that. Okay, I'm almost to the bottom of the list here of questions. Okay, folks, once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here. Appreciate you giving us the privilege of helping you learn something that you're interested in. I believe that anybody can be successful trading futures. Anybody can be successful trading options. It's only when you don't invest the time to learn and you want to jump the gun and not do the work that you'll generally fail. So we're happy to help you if this is something that you want to do. Thanks for being here. We'll be back in the live trading room tomorrow morning at 8:45 Eastern.